we're going to go ahead and start. And the focus of today is I wanted to focus on how we can allow ourselves not to let certain things stop us. So I was listening to this podcast by Brene Brown, and she was talking to this woman who apparently made some crazy app about mentors and mentorship. And, at the time that she created it, nothing else had been like that. And so she didn't know whether or not she was going to create something that could be of use. And the piece of advice that I thought her sister gave her was super helpful was let the world tell you no. And I'm coming back to this because how often do we tell ourselves no to doing something? Oh, I can't do that because of XYZ, or maybe I shouldn't do that because of blah, 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 or blah, 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 blah. We make excuses right and left as to why we're limiting ourselves. And sometimes we just need to go out and try it and see what the heck happens, because it might turn out fine. And even if it doesn't, we learn something else. So today we're going to work on a bunch of things that are going to require you to open your heart. They're going to require you to balance on one leg. They're going to require you to maybe use your core in some instances where you don't really want to. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. I do encourage you to have 2 blocks and a blanket for today. And you've got options. The first thing I would encourage you to do is go ahead and put a blanket underneath your knees if your knees, ankles, and shins happen to be sensitive. And for some of you, you will find that that is where you're going to stay with your knees on your blanket. And then we'll go ahead and come forward onto hands and knees. And then for some of you, you'll want to have your blocks in front of you as well. And I would encourage you either to have them parallel towards each other or slightly on an angle. And then you're going to put one elbow on the block, depending upon which one you want to do, the other elbow on the block. And you can just push the palms into each other and start to send your butt back. Some of you will draw your butt towards your heels. Some of you will just stay in this Anahatasana shape. Okay. And then you're just going to take 3 to 5 breaths here. And the only thing we're focusing on is really pushing the elbows down and forward. We're really focusing on noticing what's happening in the rib cage, what's happening in the breath. Some of you will draw the heels of the hands towards the nape of your neck. Some of you will not. And then you'll just see if you can take 3 audible breaths here, noticing what's happening in the sensations of the body. Noticing if you can continue to lift up through your inner armpits, especially those, that have hypermobile shoulder joints. And then you're just going to notice what you notice. Where is sensation opening across the upper back, the backs of the tricep? Where are you telling yourself no in any way? And where are you allowing yourself to say yes? You've got 2 more breath cycles here. And then at the end of your next exhalation, you'll inhale and shift your weight forward. Go ahead and remove the blocks, plant your hands on the mat, and just take 3 to 4 gentle cats and cows. And these first cats and cows are just to start to wake up, open the spine. They don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be pretty. You're just taking some cats and cows. And then you'll take about 4 more. And I want you to start to articulate from either the head or the tail and move through every single vertebra of the body as you come into that cow shape, and move through every single vertebra as you go into that cat shape. And just start to notice the parts of the body where there's maybe not as much movement, where perhaps you said, oh, I don't move that way. And see if you can allow yourself to reawaken that part of your physiology. And then after your next exhale, you'll come to a neutral spine, and you'll just pause there for a moment. You'll take a big breath in, and then exhale, draw your right ear towards your right shoulder, towards your right hip. And then you'll inhale back through center, and then exhale, left ear towards left shoulder, towards left hip. And then you'll inhale back to center. And you'll do that about 4 times, just taking these lateral side bendy things, really trying to draw your hip to your ear to your hip. And again, you're just paying attention to the breath, to the movement of the spine. And if this is happy for you, you will just stay here and complete this. If you'd like, you'll start to create some barrel rolls through the spine. So you'll go to the side, you'll round through the spine, you'll go to the other side, you'll dip the spine. And you're just starting to allow more movement, more spaciousness. And then after you've gone about 4 circles one way, you'll pause and you'll go the other way. And you'll go 4 circles the other way. And you're just paying attention to the breath. You're paying attention to the movement in your spine. And then once you feel complete with that, you'll go ahead and come to a still neutral spot. You'll curl both sets of toes under. You're gonna take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, start to press your pelvis up and back toward downward facing dog. And in this first down dog, take 3 to 5 breaths to fidget around in whatever way feels good to you. So some of you might want to just really stabilize the shoulders and wiggle waggle your tail around. Some of you might want to bend and then straighten the other knee. Some of you might need to make other adjustments, but you're just allowing yourself to have a little bit more movement, a little bit more freedom, and allowing yourself to notice where you're saying no and where you're allowing yourself to say yes. And then we'll go ahead and find ourselves into a still neutral spot. Let's all take a big breath in and an audible breath out. Yep, and one more just like that, big breath in, an audible breath out. Great, last time, big breath in, audible breath out. Great. As you inhale this time, see if you can find more length on the spine. As you exhale, start to bend the knees and however you want to, slowly walk to the top of your space. And you'll notice that depending upon how you walk and what pace and what rhythm, that may change what experience you're having in your legs. And then when you get to the top of your space, I encourage you to just grab one of your blocks and slide it between your shin bones. And you can do it on whichever setting you want. And then you'll grab maybe opposite elbow, maybe you'll bend one knee and then the other. And you're just taking a moment to check in, to notice how the feet are in relationship to the floor, how the legs are in relationship to the hips. Great. And then if you're in movement, let's go ahead and come to stillness. Release your hands down to the floor. Now, as you inhale, slide your hands up your shin, reach your heart and sternum forward. And then as you exhale, fold all the way back in. Now you're going to do that 3 more times. And I want you to articulate from your pelvis to your crown to come up, halfway lift. And then exhale from your pelvis to your head, fold all the way in. Yep, 2 more times, just like that. Really trying to find that gentle, subtle movement in the base of the spine, finding our foundation so we can be fully rooted before we try to do a bunch of crazy things. Awesome. And then the next time you fold all the way in, you'll just take a moment to pause there. Gently bend your knees, and you're going to slowly roll up the spine. Tailbone leading the way, head is the last thing to come up. And when you get to vertical, you just take a pause. You'll take a moment to breathe. You'll let your head slowly settle on top of your spine. And if you need to roll the shoulders, you roll the shoulders. If you need to yawn, you do that, but you just keep breathing. And then we're going to go ahead and add on. When you're ready, you'll inhale, sweep both arms up and overhead. Grab your left wrist. And as you exhale, little side bend towards the right. And you're pushing down into your left big toe. You're hugging the block and you're drawing your right shoulder under so you can breathe into your left rib cage. As you inhale, you'll come back up through vertical. And then you'll exhale and switch sides, grabbing the left wrist, little side bend to the left, press into the left big toe, draw the left shoulder blade forward, right ribs down. Yep. Next inhalation, go ahead and come back up. As you exhale, we're going to lower our arms. So I'm going to just do this instead of mirroring this. You guys are going to do this. Take your left hand to grab your right earlobe. Take your right hand to grab your left earlobe. So we're going to do something called tapakarnam. Apparently it's very good for mental acuity. You're going to do 18 of these. You're going to inhale, bend your knees, lift your elbows. You're going to exhale, straighten your legs, lower your elbows. And you just keep going. You got 18 of these. And so apparently tapakarnam is really good for everything for Alzheimer's. It's good for helping children with ADHD. It's good for helping grad students pass their exams and have a greater sense of focus. And so all we're doing is we're tapping into the right and left sides of the hemispheres of the brain. We're helping you learn to breathe and coordinate your movement with breath. And we're also warming the body. So hey, win-win all around. And so according to the tradition, you can do 108 of these, but we're only going to do 18 because 108 would take a really long time. And so we're just going to see how it goes. And you're just breathing, you're squatting, and you want to make sure your elbows lift and then they lower. And I know that depending upon how wide your elbows are, it might be easier said than done. It does, surprisingly. That's why we started with the left hand. The left hand has to be under. I'm not sure why, but apparently the teacher that I learned this from, she said they'd done a bunch of studies in different arm positions. And they said if you change the arm positions, you didn't get the same benefits. I know, I don't know why. Probably. Oh, well, then if you're over 18, then stop. I wasn't counting. Okay, so once you're done, just take a moment to release, close your eyes, and just notice what you feel in the body. Do you feel the heat? Do you feel the energy? We're going to go ahead and add on. Inhale, circle, sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, hop back, plank pose. Keep the block. Yep, you can hop, you can walk, but you still got that block. Nice job. And then you're just going to pause there once you get there. And you're going to squeeze the block. You're going to push the floor away. And did you notice if you stopped breathing, push the floor away so much that the upper back rounds. Keep lengthening the tailbone back. Yep. On your next inhalation, you'll shift your weight forward. As you exhale, lower the body all the way down in one piece. Keep the heads lifted, keep the hearts open. Nice job. Once you touch the floor, go ahead and extend the tops of the feet onto the floor. Slide your hands back just a little bit so thumbs are in line with your nipples. I want you to pull your pelvic floor up just a little bit, then squeeze your little butt cheeks together. Lengthen your tailbone down and draw your pubic bone up. Now squeeze that block. Press your toes down, and as you inhale, pull the heart forward and through. Squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back. Awesome. Keep lengthening your tailbone back. And if you'd like, you can lift a little higher in the chest, or you might lift your legs up and away from the floor, but you're going to breathe here for 3. You're going to breathe here for 2. That tailbone keeps lengthening back. And on your next exhale, lower all the way down. Nice job. Curl the toes under. Straighten the legs, squeeze your block, lengthen the tailbone back. Draw the shoulders up towards the ears, shoulder blades onto the back, and lift your heads in line with the shoulders. Awesome. As you're ready, press up, hands and knees or plank pose. Yep, and then exhale, downward facing dog, 3 steady breaths. And you still got this block here, so you might need to walk your feet in, and you just notice what it feels like. Your inner thighs can now roll back and apart because of the use of the block. Can you still hear your breath, sense your breath, feel your breath? And you're just paying attention to what's happening in this moment. How are you telling yourself no? Or how are you allowing yourself to open up to new possibilities, new ways of being? Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhale, you'll empty all the breath, and then however you want to, feet come to hands. Yep. Once you get to the top of your space, you'll take a moment to pause there. You'll inhale and halfway lift. You'll exhale and fold all the way in. Inhale, bend your knees, but sit your butt low, come up, Utkatasana, chair pose. And you'll just take 3 breath cycles here, hugging that block, reaching your pinky fingers forward so you feel that engage on your back body, and then maybe lifting the arms alongside your ears, maybe not, but you're paying attention, you're paying really close attention to that breath. Nice work, guys. On your next in-breath, stand up, reach up, look up. And then as you exhale, allow the arms to open out and come down to the side. So we're going to add on. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale this time, see if you can grab your left forearm. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, little side bend to the right. Again, press into your left big toe. Right ribs come forward. Right hip slides back. And see if you can pull down with your right hand as you push up with your left arm. Next in breath, go ahead and come back up. As you exhale, switch sides. So grab the right forearm and then inhale. Sorry, what? Oh yeah, that is my upper arm and that. I'm sorry, that's totally inaccurate. Thank you, Sandy. And then we're gonna press into our right big toe. Draw your left ribs under, pull down with the left hand, push up with the right. And then you'll inhale and come back up. As you exhale, open the arms out. Go ahead and interlace the hands at your low back. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears, shoulder blades onto your back, and the heart will come up. As you exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips, letting the head lead the way. And then once you find yourself forward, you might let your arms go over your head or just have them keep reaching up. But I want you to see if you could almost stick imaginary thumbs in your armpits, pull your armpits up, hug the shoulder blades together on your back, and then notice where it feels good to have the hands close to your butt or far away from your butt, but you pay attention. At the end of your next exhale, hands come back to your pelvis. They slide down the legs into the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, take your feet back to a plank pose. So however you want to get there, you get there. And then you'll just take 3 breath cycles once you get there. Love that, Cindy. And then you'll just pause and you'll breathe. You're hugging in with that block. Yeah, nice. And you're breathing, you got this. Next inhalation, you'll go ahead and shift the weight forward. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Nice work, guys. Once you find yourself all the way down onto the floor, this time you're going to slide your hands back alongside your pelvis, palms face down. All the random things. So arms long, Erica. There we go. So all the things we did before, I want you to pick up your pelvic floor first, squeeze your butt cheeks together, then lengthen your tailbone back as you draw your pubic bone in. That'll keep the pelvic floor engaged. And then I want you to squeeze your block, press down into the tops of the feet. Keep that. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears and shoulder blades onto the back. And then lift your ears in line with your shoulders. Awesome. Now from here, this is totally in your control. You can start to crawl your fingertips back and wide to lift your chest as high as you want. And so you'll lift your chest as high as you want. Once you feel like that's going on, re-engage the butt cheek pelvic floor thing so your low back stays long. Some of you will then start to reach your toes so far back that they float up off the floor. Yep. Some of you will float your hands up and off the floor. And you're going to breathe here for about 3 to 5 breaths. Whether the hands interlace or not, that's totally up to you. But you're squeezing that block, you're breathing, you're hovering. Yay, for 3, for 2, for 1, gently lower all the way down. Nice work, guys. Plant your hands alongside your lowest ribs. Curl your toes under, lightly squeeze that block. Straighten the legs if you'd like, and then you'll draw the shoulders up towards the ears, shoulder blades onto back, ears in line with shoulders. And then when you're ready, push up hands and knees or plank. Yep, and then downward facing dog, 3 steady breaths. And you just pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe and you notice what you notice. Now, the thing we have to keep in mind is sometimes we tell ourselves no because we've internalized external messages. And sometimes those messages are nothing more than BS, absolute BS. And so we're just allowing ourselves to notice that that's not the only message and that we want to give ourselves permission to fly, to explore in whatever way we need to. So you've got your last breath cycle here, and I want you to see where you can breathe in a little bit more easily, how you can breathe a little bit more deeply. Nice work, guys. At the end of your next exhale, you'll bend the knees, you'll empty the belly of the breath, and then take your feet to your hands, however you want to get there. Nice work. Once you get to the top of your space, you'll take a moment to pause there. If you still have that block, please remove it. And then you'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, taking your time. And then exhale, allow the hands to come to heart center. Take a moment to close the eyes. Bring your awareness all the way to your feet. If you are not at the top of your space, I want you to step to the top of your space. You're going to still keep your awareness in your feet. And I want you to bring all of your awareness into your left foot, shifting the weight all the way onto the left foot and floating the right leg up. And as the right leg comes up, the hands are pushing into each other, the right toes are pulling up, and we're just going to pause here. On your next exhale, you're going to pull that belly in, start to hinge at the hips, fingertips come to the floor, that right leg reaches long and back for a low lunge. Nice work. Once you find yourself there, hands can either stay on the floor or go to blocks, whatever works best for you. But you're going to bring your left hand to the outside edge of your left knee. You're going to reach your heart and sternum forward. And as you exhale, pick up the belly on the left side to roll your left ribs up, your right ribs into that inner left thigh. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will reach that left arm up. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will turn the left palm down to the floor and reach it alongside your ears. So you find this long stretch along that left side. And you just got 3 breaths. You keep pushing down into the right hand to draw the right ribs into the left knee, the left ribs away from the left thigh. Yep. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll inhale and unwind the spine. Plant that left hand next to the left foot. Spin your right foot to the floor for warrior 1, and then push down into the feet in order to bring your spine all the way up for Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Yeah. And then notice your breath. Notice your breath. Notice your breath. That's the only thing that ever matters. We can navigate life if we're breathing, because we can then breathe and we can think and we can maneuver and we can be strategic. And so we're just allowing ourselves to do that. So we're really rooting down in that back foot. We're really breathing deeply into our chest, letting go of any tension in our mouths and our throats. Yeah. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll inhale, find more length through the arms. And then exhale, hands come down to the floor and pause. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. Start to shift your weight forward enough to plant the palms on the mat, and then step your left foot back to meet the right. Pause. So now you're in that plank pose. You can option to stay here. You can cycle through an up dog or cobra. You can just go back to downward facing dog, but you're allowing yourself to have choice. And then you're just noticing what you notice because of that. There's a world of difference when you set your limits versus you let someone else set your limits. You've got 3 more breath cycles here. But I want you to see where you can find more space in the body through the breath. Or can you find more awareness of the sensations in the body through the breath? Awesome sauce, guys. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll take a big breath in. Exhale, empty the belly. Take your feet to your hands. Nice work. From there, let's go ahead and inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, sit low, Utkatasana, chair pose. And you've just got a couple breath cycles here. We have no block this time, so just notice what adjustments you need to make to find that stability, that support in the knees, in the hips and the feet. The end of this next exhalation, you'll inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Nice work. Draw all the weight into your right foot, awareness into the right foot, float that left leg up, parallel to the floor. And then as we're staying here, we're going to keep lifting that knee. As we start to exhale, send our left leg back, reach your fingertips to the floor to come into that long, low lunge. Nice work, guys. Once you're there, hands might stay on the floor. They might come to a block. The right hand comes to the outside edge of your right knee. Press the right knee into the right hand into the right knee. Reach your heart forward and then rotate the right ribs back, the left ribs under, and you might stay there. You might extend that right arm up towards the sky for a rotation. Keep drawing that outer right hip back. You might then turn the palm to face the floor and reach the right arm alongside the ear and find this long stretch from the right pinky finger to the right outer hip. Nice job, guys. And you're just breathing. You're just breathing. You're noticing how that's going. Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhale, you'll inhale and gently unwind. Spin your back foot to the floor for Virabhadrasana 1. Once you're stable in your feet, inhale, come up for warrior 1. Nice job, guys. And you've got about 4 breath cycles here. So I want you to make minor adjustments. Do you need to bend into the front knee? Do you need to keep pressing into that right big toe mound as you press into your left pinky toe mound? Yep. And then you'll see what's happening. Can you soften any tension in your jaw? Can your hands be active? There you go. Awesome. At the end of your next exhale, you'll inhale, find more length through the arms, and then exhale, frame the front foot, pause, pivot to the ball of your back foot, pause, plant your palms on the mat, and then as gently as you can, step that right foot back. Nice work. Stay here or cycle through an up dog or cobra, your choice, but you're just allowing yourself to breathe, allowing yourself to move. Nice work, guys. And then when you get there, you'll pause. Some of you will hang out in down dog. Some of you might need a little repose in child's pose, but you choose and you just pay attention. Oh man, that's okay for your foot?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. So those that are in child's pose, please make your way back to down dog. On your next in breath, find more length through the spine. As you exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, step or float, top of space. Nice job. From there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way in. Inhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. Just a couple breath cycles here. This generally, I've noticed in my own practice, helps stabilize the vestibular system before I stand up. Mostly because I'm making my legs work so hard. Next in breath, go ahead and, helps you have a sense of balance. So then you don't feel dizzy. On your next in breath, stand up, reach up, look up, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Okay. If you're not at the top of your space, please step to the top of your space. Transfer all the weight into your left foot. Inhale. As you exhale, float your right foot up towards you. Now this time you're going to keep pulling those toes up towards your face. As you exhale, we're going to go through a warrior three. So you're going to kick your foot back, reach your heart forward into your fingers. You're going to pause and hover in that warrior three for a moment, bend the left knee even more, put the right foot down, coming into your high crescent lunge this time. And you'll just take a moment to pause. Yeah. From there, we'll go ahead and spin the back foot down and open into Virabhadrasana 2. And then once your feet are firmly planted, you can open the arms and you'll just take a moment to just settle into the shape, noticing what you notice. How can you send the energy out evenly through both arms, the past, the present, the future? Can you allow your breath to continue to be the most important thing? Awesome sauce. The end of your next exhale, you'll inhale, reach forward through that left arm, bringing left forearm to top of thigh, left hand to block or floor, and then start to extend that right arm alongside your ears for extended side angle, Pitta Parsva Konasana. And you've got 4 breath cycles here. How do you find more length on the right side? How do you keep the equal length on the left side? So that's the under crunched side. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. Nice job, guys. On your next in breath, go ahead and return to warrior 2. As you exhale, I want you to straighten your legs and then wiggle walk your back foot towards the front foot just a smidge. Okay, now from here, you're gonna go ahead and bend the front knee once again. Reach forward with the left hand. Left hand will come to the floor or block. You'll start to shift your weight forward, float your back leg off the floor and come into half moon. Nice work. And you have to flex through that back foot a lot, reach up through the right arm a lot, and notice what you notice. Nice work, guys. The end of your next exhale, lower the right hand to the floor, square your hips to the floor and pause. Pause, 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 pause. So both hands on the floor or the blocks. You're going to bend your left knee a lot. You're going to sweep your right leg behind you and to the left. Flex through the foot, so just the pinky toe edge of the foot is on the floor, and with your hands either on the blocks or on the floor, you'll start to walk your hands over to that space between your feet. Yep, hello, this is Jack's Speed Skater. We have not done this. This is Jack's Speed Skater. This is Jack's Speed Skater. We haven't done this in a long time. And some of you will stay right here and you'll just breathe and make faces at me or yell at me if you're at home because I can't hear you. And then you might just plant that right hand and maybe rotate the spine up towards the left to say hello, Jack. I know, we should send him this video. Be like, hi, Jack. You've tortured us so long. Okay, and then when you're ready, you'll gently unwind, plant the hands, unwind the legs, come back to center and shake your butts out in whatever way feels good to you in that. Sandy just gave me the easiest. Yeah. Jack Cunyo. He's very detail oriented. He used to teach Friday mornings at 10. Yeah, he was one of my teachers for one of my teacher trainings. Okay, so once you're back at the top of your mat and you've moved things out, we're going to find our way back up to stand. But before we do, we have to go back through chair pose. So those of you that are standing, just bend your knees and sit into chair. Those of you that are folded forward, bend your knees, lift your spine. Hi, Alexander. He's making faces, and sit for chair. And you've just got three. Yes, he is. He's definitely making faces over there for all of us. And then you've just got 3 breaths. And then you'll inhale, stand up, reach up, look up. I mean, it's, oh gosh, he's gone away, but it was really cute. His face was there, dead center. All right. So now that we know where we're sort of going, we're going to get ready to do that on the other side. So stand at the top of your space, transfer all of the weight onto your right leg, and then the left leg just floats up. And so just as we did before, if you really push your sternum into your thumbs, it really helps as you start to lever the spine, leaning it forward, kicking that left leg back, coming through a warrior 3. And then you'll start to bend your right leg as you lower the left toes towards the floor in order to transition into high crescent lunge. Nice work. And then once you feel like your feet are established there, you can spin the back foot down and open for Virabhadrasana 2. Again, placing the emphasis on where the feet need to be, and then allowing the arms to be the add-on extension of that. And then you've got 3 breaths, because I'm sure during all of that, nobody was breathing. So let's see if we can resume the breathing part of yoga. And if you can find the equanimity between the front arm, yeah, there you go, and the back arm, and keeping as much length, there you go, and then reach forward through the right arm, yep, as you can through both of your arms. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and reach forward through that right arm. Maybe lower the right forearm to the top of the right thigh. Maybe the fingers come to the block or the floor, and then you'll reach that left arm alongside of you. And you've just got 3 to 4 breath cycles here. And how do you soften any tension around your neck? Have you keep your right torso, so that's the underside, as long as it can be while you're lengthening the left torso, the top side. And you're just breathing. Keep drawing that outer right hip straight back. Nice work, guys. On your next in-breath, return to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. As you exhale, straighten your front leg long. Yep, and then you'll wiggle walk your back foot in just a smidge. From there, you'll start to reach forward through the right hand so far until you can bring the right hand to the floor or the block. As you start to cartwheel in, the left leg lifts. Hey, look, that was better this side. And then you'll push down into that right foot, push down into that right hand, lift up through the inner left thigh, left arm, and then notice the breath, notice the wobbles in the body, notice the strength in the body. All the things that we do require us to tap into something that we don't always know we have access to. Go ahead and lower that left hand to the floor. Square your hips to the floor. Take a moment to pause here. Now we're going to start to bend our right leg. You're going to sweep your left leg behind you and to the right. And ideally, we kind of want both sets of toes in the same line. You're going to roll to the knife edge of that left foot and then start to crawl your hands over to the space between your legs. You might stay there and be like, Jessica, I don't like you and Jack right now, and that's fine. Some of you will push down through that left hand and start to rotate your rib cage and maybe lift that right arm. But you're just going to pause and you're going to breathe and you're going to say, hello, outer hips. Hello, Jack Cuneo. We miss you. And then you're going to pause and you're going to breathe. And then at the end of your next exhale, lower that right hand down, unwind your legs. Maybe widen your feet this time and take a little figure 8 with your hippie doos so they roll around a little bit. Maybe you sort of wiggle your trunk like an elephant or something. And then as you're ready, you'll gently come to stillness. And however you'd like, you are going to very gently make your way up to stand. So some of you will come through chair pose. Some of you might sit through malasana. Some of you will roll up, but you're going to make your way to stand. And when you get there, you'll just take a few moments to pause and you'll take a moment to breathe. And I want you to just close your eyes once you get there and really feel what it feels like to be in your body, really feel what it feels like to be in your being. And you're just going to take a few audible breaths once you get there. What is that thing in life that you really want to go and pursue? You don't even have to know what it is. It could just be a small thing like, I want X for lunch. Like sometimes we do have to start off with very small things, and we have to let the world tell us that it's not a possibility. I mean, like if you want baked brie and you don't know how to bake brie or do any of that stuff, maybe you could learn how to do it instead of saying, I can never have baked brie. Somebody knows how to do it. All right. So we are going to add on, let's go ahead and open our eyes. What? It's actually pretty good. I made it once, but it didn't look pretty, but it tasted good. Yeah, you have to buy like a phyllo, and then I put jam in there. It was good. It was ugly as hell. It was good. Okay, so we're gonna add on a few things. I would encourage you to make sure your blocks are outside of your feet just in case you need them. So Roberta, you might want to step them back. Eric, you might want to step them back. And you may not need them, you may need them. But so we're gonna start by shifting all the way to our left leg. Hands come back to heart center, float up your right leg. And so then you'll bend your left leg as much as you need to. You'll tap the right foot over to the block on the left side of you. And you might just stay there happy as a clam. You might then wrap your right arm underneath your left for Garudasana arms. You might stay there. You might tuck the top of the right foot alongside the left shin or the back of the left calf, and you'll just pause and you'll breathe. And so we're going to add all these things on, and it's going to require a lot of faith in your abilities. So on your next in-breath, you're going to gently unwind just the right leg and come back to that one-legged Tadasana. As you exhale, you'll kick the right leg back, start to hinge forward, coming into that warrior three. You'll bend that left knee as much as you can, gently unwind your arms, lower the left hand to the floor, reach the right arm up towards the sky and come into half moon. And you'll just notice what that feels like. You were an eagle and now you became a moon, and it's all set. Nice job, guys. As you're ready, you will gently return back to stand. So you might reverse everything you just did. You might just fold forward and come up to stand. And then once you're ready, you'll come back to Tadasana and you'll notice what you notice. You'll give yourself celebration. You did stuff. Yay! Okay. Now we're gonna try that on the other side. That wasn't that bad. Wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. I like this transition. All right, we'll try it on the other side. So if you only have one block, make sure it's on the outside edge of your right foot, and literally you want it next to the foot. Hands come to heart center. Shift the weight into the right leg, float the left leg up, and then you're gonna bend the right knee, tap the left foot onto the block, and you might just stay there happy as a clam. You might choose to wrap the arms underneath, left arm on top, and you might choose to stay there. Sorry, left arm underneath, sorry. Yeah. And then you might tuck the left toes behind the back of the right calf and just pause and breathe. And you can happily stay here through all of this. Otherwise, we'll start to unwind just the left leg and come back up for this one-legged Tadasana. You might then start to kick forward, pressing the forearms into each other as that left leg goes back. Once you're in that warrior three variation, you'll unwind the arms, lower the right hand to the block, maybe bring the left hand to the hip to open the hip, and then maybe open the left arm. And you just pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe. And then when you're ready to come out of it, you come out of it however you'd like. Maybe you reverse engineer everything we just did. Maybe you just simply lower the left hand, lower the left leg, and step to the top of your space. Yep. All variations are amazing. You guys are doing a great job. And then once you get to the top of your space and you've unwound everything, just take a moment to close your eyes. How convoluted was that? Pretty. We might have thought there would have been stuff that we couldn't do, but how much easier was it doing in the act of doing it? If I told you were going to do that to begin with, probably would have gotten a lot of faces, but we did it. There are lots of things that you can do. You just have to let yourself not be told no. All right, let's go ahead and open the eyes once again. Inhale, circle sweep your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, fold forward at your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. From there, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, travel back to plank, however you wish to get there. Either cycle through an up dog or cobra, or just go directly back to downward facing dog. And then we will either meet in down dog or child's pose, but you're gonna rest for about 5 to 10 breaths. So whichever one will let you rest is where you go. Whichever one will let you rest is where you go. And you just take a few breaths there. You just take a few breaths there. Those that are in down dog, you notice how this can become a resting pose where you have to let go of things, where you can re-engage things. Those that are in child's pose, notice how you can fully breathe into the belly to open up space in the back. Awesome sauce. You got about 2 more breath cycles here. And then at the end of your next exhalation, we are all going to make our way into a plank pose and then onto our bellies. So however you want to get there. Awesome. And then once you're on your bellies, let's stack our hands right underneath our forehead. Is that clear? Okay. So hands right underneath our belly. And some of you will, forehead. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will bend just your left leg and you'll reach around with your left arm and grab your left ankle with your left hand. Some of you will choose instead to come onto your forearms and grab that left ankle. It's just a matter of what feels better for you, either Ardha Bhakasana or you're in a quad stretch on your abdomen. So if you're coming to Ardha Bhakasana, the right elbow is underneath the right shoulder. The top of the right foot is pressing down into the floor. The tailbone is lengthening back. Yep. And then you'll very gently release that. Those of you on Ardha Bhakasana, you'll just bring the other forearm to the floor. Those on the abdomen, you'll just bend the right knee, grab the outside edge of the right ankle. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. And as best as you can, the left leg is still super active, tailbone lengthening back. We're trying to isolate the sensation more in our quadricep versus our knee or our hip. All right. And then you'll very gently release that. Go ahead and extend your left arm forward, roll over onto your left side, and make your way onto your happy backs. Make sure you have a block somewhere easily accessible to you. And then once you find yourself on your back, you'll just grab that block and slide it between your inner upper thighs. You'll put it on whatever setting feels good to you. And then let's bend our knees and plant our feet firmly on the floor. Please robot your arms alongside your torso. Walk your shoulder blades underneath you. Press down into the back of your skull. Press down into your feet and lift your hips away from the floor. And then I want you to just adjust this position for you. You all have done bridge an innumerate number of times, so go ahead and adjust it for you. Do you need to squeeze that block more? Do you need to walk the shoulder blades under your back more? Do you need to lengthen your tailbone forward? Do you need to press down into your heels and isometrically drag them back? Do you want to extend your arms? Do you want to interlace the hands or grab the mat? You've all done bridge an amount of like crazy ton number of times. So I want you to not let the world, or rather not let yourself tell yourself no. You will know what is not appropriate for you if the feedback that you receive is not appropriate. Great. And then at the end of your next exhale, if you're holding your hands, release the hands, untuck the shoulders, bring your pelvis back down to the floor. And then we're going to go ahead and open our arms out to the right and to the left. And this is going to be, I'll keep the block. This is going to be some sneaky core work for Erica. So you're going to start to squeeze that block. Lift your thigh bones until they're parallel to the floor. Your shins, perpendicular. Thigh bones perpendicular, shins parallel. So come up just a bit. Squeeze that block for dear life. Some of you might notice that you want to move the block so it's in between your knees. I personally like it when it's in between my knees when I'm in this orientation, but you choose if that works for you. And then you're going to take a big breath in. And then when you exhale, you'll start to lower your legs over towards your right side. Other right, I know, right? And then you'll inhale and come back up. And you do that 3 more times. So the legs are going towards the right. You're pushing the right knee into the left knee into the right knee. And we're just doing that slow as it goes. Slow as it goes. Awesome. The next time your legs go over to the right, let's go ahead and pause and hover there. Push the bottom leg into the top leg into the bottom leg. At the end of your next exhalation, lower the knees all the way to the floor. Lower the shins to the floor. Yep. You might then bring your right hand to the top of your left thigh. You might push into the back of your head, lift your rib cage up, and see if you can draw more of your left rib cage onto the floor for a twist. And then you just pause and you'll breathe all into the left side body. And if you had an extra set of hands, I'd want you to see if you could breathe into your left low back. So for some reason, like you're an octopus or something, I want you to breathe into the left low back. Yep. Little octopus. Breathe into your left low back. It'd be kind of funny. Little octopus. Yep. Yeah. And you've got about 3 more breath cycles there, breathing into your left low back. Little octopus. Little octopus. Yep. Breathing into the left low back. Yeah. Good. All right. On your next in-breath, you'll release that right hand. You'll inhale and bring the legs back up to center. Plop the feet on the floor and just take a moment to notice what you notice between the 2 sides. Notice the breath in the body. Notice the space in the body. And then when you're ready to try all that on the other side, you'll hover your shin bones parallel to the floor, thigh bones perpendicular to the floor. You'll squeeze that block and flex your feet. And then when you're ready, exhaling the legs over to the opposite side. And inhaling, coming back up. And you've got 4 of these. And I guess this one's not such sneaky core work, but it's still core work. No, no, that's true. There's nothing sneaky about this one. And then after you've done 4 of them, you will just take the legs back over to the left and you'll hover them for just a breath or breath cycle. And then you'll gently lower the legs to the floor. And then you might bring that left hand to the top of the right thigh. You might push into the back of your head a little bit more and rotate the rib cage to the right, down to the floor, just a little bit more. And then we'll go back to the little octopuses and you'll see if we're octopi, I don't know what the plural of that is, but you're just gonna breathe into the low back. Yeah, this time on the right side. And this is really, when we're breathing into the back body, we're trying to get the adrenals, the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, all the organs that live more towards the back of the body. Yoga is often said to help with detoxing, but really we're just trying to get more energy, more blood flow, more movement. Yep, into that part of the body. More. And your little octopuses, just breathe. I have no idea, but you know, it's like you have extra hands, like octopus. Yeah, yeah. Because that's what?
She was with you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, you've got the extra hands. Or you could be one of the Murtis from one of the Hindu deities. They also have extra hands. I'm sure they could give themselves a massage. That would be so fantastic. And then when you're ready, you'll release that left arm. You'll squeeze the block. You'll come back up through center.
Especially because they all of their arms all seem to be in all directions. So you could really get back.
Go ahead and release your legs. I bet you could massage yourself in a way that would feel good. And then when you get back, you'll release that block. And then I want you to just let the feet walk outside of the hips, let the knees knock in, and you'll start to wrap your arms around your torso. And you'll just take 3 breath cycles here. We have a few more things to do, but you're just going to settle in. And maybe you're right, Sandy. Maybe a massage would be that relaxing if you're having to massage yourself, even if you did have extra arms. But, I don't know, it might. You can imagine more parts of the body to massage. Oh gosh, that's true. That is. Okay, go ahead and inhale and open your arms and switch whichever arm is on top. All right, and as you're here in this shape and we're contemplating whether or not a self massage would feel as good as somebody else having 8 arms and massaging us, I want you to just ask yourself what it is you want to try next. So some of you I will encourage to take a thigh root. Some of you will be encouraged to take a figure 4 or a happy baby. Some of you will take some more supine twists, but I encourage you to allow yourself to notice what you might be interested in doing, and then let the body be the feedback. Let the body tell you whether that was the best decision for you to make or something else was a better decision to make. And the thing is, you won't know until you try something and see how it feels. And the great thing about being human beings that are cognizant of what's going on is we can always change our mind. So if you try something and you're like, yeah, no, that's not so great, then you go try something else. And then you try that something else and be like, that's sort of it. And then you'll try something else and be like, yeah, fantastic. And you guys have got about a minute or so just for this one side to do whatever the heck you want to do. So if you're just hanging out, hang out. If you want to try something else, try something else. But you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing what feels good to you. Yep. We've got about 3 more breath cycles just on this side. And so you keep track of that. And at the end of your 3rd exhalation, you'll gently come back to something that looks symmetrical and neutral. And then you'll explore just what it feels like having done that before you try the other side. And then when you feel ready, you'll go ahead and move on to your other side. And you just pause and you breathe, and you pause and you breathe. And again, you take in the information. You'll try something and the body will say yay, or the body will say nay, and it's all just information. And you pause and you breathe. We've got about another minute on this side. So if you want to stay doing what you're doing, if you are great and happy doing that, great. If you want to try something else, great. Go ahead and try that too. And then when you feel complete, I do want you to come back to something symmetrical before you bring yourself into your final resting pose. So just take a moment to be in something symmetrical and neutral before you go into your final resting pose. And if you need to cover the body, cover the body. I think in the winter that needs to become part of the yoga choreography. Now it's time to cover ourselves again. I haven't figured out how to do that, probably because I haven't thought about it, but I should think about that. How to make clothes part of the choreography at the end. And then when you feel complete, or at least covered up and warm, take a moment to just take in the shape, noticing what fidgets or wiggles might be necessary for you to really just be able to let go. I think that's one of the things that our practice is intending to help us with, that sometimes we hold on to things that don't allow the fullness of who we are to come forth, to come through. And when we're in Shavasana, it's kind of like our preparation for that. Noticing where there's something that we're still holding on to that literally in this moment we do not need to do it because gravity, the floor, the support beneath us really has us. So as you take this last few moments here, I just want you to notice if there's anything else you want to fidget or wiggle around for you to be comfortable. And then we'll start to settle into the more introspective parts of the practice by taking 3 audible exhales. Big breath in, and 2 more big breaths out. This time, as you breathe in, hold the breath for a couple beats at the top of the inhalation. And then when you're ready, exhale out through the mouth, letting the body become heavier, letting the tension go. And you'll just do 3 more just, or rather 2 more just like that. Big breath in, hold the breath at the top for a beat or 2. And then you'll exhale out through the mouth, letting everything soften and settle. Nice. And now we're going to add on. So you'll take a big breath in. At the top of your inhalation, you'll hold the breath. You'll sip in a little bit more air. And then a big breath out, letting it all go. And you'll do that 2 more times. So a big breath in, hold the breath at the top. See if you can seep in just a little bit more air. And then when you're ready, you'll exhale and let it go. And last time, big breath in, hold the breath at the top. See if you can sip in a little bit more air in an effortless manner. And then you exhale and let it go. And then when you've completed 3 rounds of that, you'll just let go of consciously trying to control the breath. You'll bring your awareness to your abdomen, your navel center, and just simply watch the breath as it naturally moves. You might start to feel the diaphragm. So here's where the jellyfish image really does come into play. You'll feel it distend. It'll start to go towards the pelvis and maybe balloon out as you breathe in. You might feel it contract and float up as you breathe out. You're not trying to direct that, it does it on its own. Whenever your mind wanders, as minds will, you just bring your awareness back to the abdomen, watching the breath enter and exit from the belly. You'll be like this for a few more moments on your own, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in, to really just notice what you notice. If there's any part of you longing to linger in this shape, by all means, stay here for a few more moments or a few more breaths. When you are ready to move on, see if you can gently deepen the breath. And as you begin to gently deepen the breath, notice if there's any small movement that you'd like to start to reintroduce into your body. And gradually that movement might become bigger and might involve extending the arms alongside the ears and stretching or wiggling or yawning in any way that feels good to you. And then as gently, as mindfully as you can, you'll make your way over to one of your sides. You'll pause there for a few breaths, just really feeling the support of the floor beneath you, feeling the movement of the breath and the ribs against the floor. And then you'll gradually start to roll your chest more towards the floor, press into the top hand, and draw your spine up to vertical. And then when you do find yourself vertical, I do encourage you to take the opportunity to sit on something, whether it's a block or a blanket or a pillow. And then when you feel established in your seat, take a moment to fidget around if you need to really feel comfortable, keeping the eyes soft or the gaze closed. We'll turn both of your palms up to face the sky. Tuck your index finger into your thumb. Turn your left palm to face the thigh, and then bring your right palm in front of your face, right thumb on the outside edge of right nostril, ring finger and pinky finger on the outside edge of the left nostril. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Close your left nostril and inhale through the right. Top of the inhalation, close the right and exhale out through the left. Yeah, we've changed it today. You can do it either way, but yeah. Inhale through the right, through your left, and then exhale out through the right. And you just repeat this a few more times. So we started by inhaling through the right. It just helps to energize us and get us going after that. When you start through the left, it just keeps the mind calm and tranquil. You'll take a total of 3 sets. And since we started on the right today, the next time you exhale out through that right nostril, you'll simply lower your right hand. And you'll just take 3 or 4 breath cycles there, noticing any movement that you might want to do, noticing any tension in the jaw that you might be able to release. Great. And then we'll end today by just bringing your right hand to your heart space. Stack your left hand on top of the right. As you feel the hands pressing into the sternum, pressing into each other, we remind ourselves that there are so many things, so many gifts that we have and are available to us if we allow ourselves to try them. And so as you take these last 3 breath cycles here, I want you to just notice yourself noticing your breath, your pulse, your heartbeat. These gifts come from here, and they come out and they shape the worlds that we live in. Okay, we'll go ahead and complete our practice with a collective breath, followed by a collective Om. Gently draw the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of your thumbs and then lift your sternum up towards your hands. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Audible breath out. Inhale for Om. Join if you'd like. Om. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May your thoughts be clear. Draw our thumbs to our lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light within me honors and salutes the light within each of you. Namaste.